What's up, guys? This is the Gospel According to Mark with a C. He is I and I am he. Just taking some time to tell you exactly what's on my mind. Thank you for joining me once again, my friends. I sincerely hope all is well with you. Hang in there. If it's not, it will get better, I promise. All right, guys, I am going to go through the comments of my last video that was entitled When Anti-Woke Becomes a Joke, because I knew this was going to be a provocative topic. I knew you guys were going to have very interesting commentary. So rather than go up and down the line trying to respond to everything, which is like impossible, I'm going to read your comments and I'm going to reply to as many as possible. I'm going to try to keep it as brief as possible so I can get as many in as possible. There's a lot of as possibles there. It's a mission impossible. And now we're going to kick it off with Theo Butler 0421. What up, homie? Theo, what up, man? Hashtag recast T'Challa. All right. Theo says, how do you feel about the term woke being culturally appropriated by non-blacks? Whoa. Okay. The whole cultural appropriation thing. I feel like I don't really subscribe to that because we're in America, man. I mean, this is one great big melting pot. We work together. We go to school together, you know? We live together. So it's logical to assume that we are going to influence one another. We take on different characteristics of the people who are around us. This goes beyond white and black. If you're a black person and you live around Caribbean people, Haitian, Jamaican, you're going to take on some of those characteristics. You're going to be influenced. It's a natural occurrence when you live together. And I think it's a beautiful thing. That's the reason why I don't like cultural appropriation, in that we separate. We say, this is mine and that's yours and you're over there and I'm over here. So I think that, the whole term woke, by the way, that is that's black vernacular to a degree. And what it was initially, it meant to stay aware. Remember, it was like, stay woke, stay aware, know what's going on around you, which was okay. But then it became overused. And I actually did a video about that almost 5-6 years ago, where I was talking about it really got played out when Get Out came out. When that movie came out, everything was about stay woke, stay woke, stay woke. You in the sunken place, you better stay woke. You know what I mean? And it just got played out. So ironically, people threw it back at us and they picked it up because it was overused so much when you were pointing out issues of racism that sometimes wasn't there. So it was overused. So that's what ended up happening with that. So as far as being culturally appropriated by non-blacks, it is what it is. It's gotten out of control at this point. You know what I mean? Like a lot of things. Moving on. Taco King 5685. He says the controversy regarding whether Francesca Amawuda Rivers is being discriminated against or harassed because she's ugly or it's because she's black. He says it's about both. She's black and ugly. Juliet was neither. Finally, we have an honest person, because a lot of people out here are saying, oh no, it's not because she's black. Listen, bro, speak for yourself. There's a lot of people out there who see her, a black Juliet, automatically and say no. All right. The fact that she is unattractive to them, yeah, that's up there too, but it's also part of it. You know what I mean? You're not going to dismiss or pay me any amount of money to believe that the fact that she's black has not contributed to this controversy. Of course it has. So Taco King, I do appreciate your honesty. I know he's being brutal right here, but honesty is often brutal. All right. Freak Show 197888. He says, oh my God, you had me cracking up with the Ghostbusters music. Yes, I am. Did you know that I wasn't classically trained as a singer? Who would have guessed? Moving on. Cami Anime S1 says, I hate what's happened to the word woke. It happens to every word someday. Whenever something gets popularized, it gets ruined. Yeah, it goes back to what we were talking about before. Freak Show 197888 again says, I was worried a couple of years ago that the amount of bad stuff being pushed out in the name of DEI was going to trigger really ugly backlash down the road. And I think this is a pretty good example of that. People are so angry now. Yeah, Freak Show, I agree. And you know something? I also did a video about this years ago, and it was called After the Woke. After the Woke. I swear, man, I was a visionary. I said the day was going to come when all of this stuff was going to have a horrible, horrible backlash, when people are tired of all of the woke. And then once the woke stuff was over, the level of tolerance is also going to suffer for that. It's almost like we are going to go backwards because we push so hard to go forwards in an artificial way. Think about that. Moving on, Deacon X says, some people are just effing awful. Yes, some people are, but thankfully, I believe that there are enough people out here who are not awful to make this world worth being in. Darth Merlin, what's up, Darth Merlin? Darth Merlin says, I think you're wrong about a couple of things. What? Just hold on a freaking minute. I'm wrong about a couple of things? I don't think so, my friend. You're going to have to explain yourself. Darth Merlin says, I think you're wrong about a couple of things. One, I believe the casting choice was done to generate internet controversy. Okay, whoa, hold on a second now. Look, Darth Merlin, I did a video saying that. So you're not disagreeing. I'm not wrong about this. That I said that. Go back and look at the first video I did regarding this whole Romeo and Juliet, Tom Holland thing. I was the one who said that it was done to generate controversy. I was warning people not to fall for the bait. Look at the thumbnail where you have Tom Hardy saying that's bait. That's what I was talking about back then. Just casting Tom Holland wasn't enough. If they cast him with an attractive or even normal looking woman, we would know nothing about this. He said normal looking, as if Francesca is just abnormal. She's like the dude in MASH. She's got elephantitis. She's like, Romeo, where art thou, Romeo? She's abnormal. Two, I honestly don't know what a negative reaction to this story has to do with being anti-woke. There may be, or there may have been, some people on social media that said it was woke, but that's anecdotal. I'm sure there are plenty of people in the woke camp that also thought this was weird. Yeah, they probably thought it was a gimmick, like I've always said, and it is to some degree. But if you do your research and you look at the what's his name, the guy who's doing this, Jamie Lloyd. When you look at the Jamie Lloyd production company who's doing this stage play, okay, not big Hollywood production, Jamie Lloyd is doing a stage play. If you look at his Wikipedia, he's known for doing minimalist, modern takes on everything that he does. So it wasn't like this is just something he did like as a gimmick. It's kind of like his style. It's what he does. You know what I mean? And so anyone who's attracted to that, by the way, they would go there expecting this. So it wouldn't even be like it's any big thing for him. I mean, it seems like this is what he does. And I have a problem with, he's got a problem with me treating anti-woke as some kind of monolith. We're not all a giant hive mind. All the examples of people that said terrible things about that girl are random people on the internet. And I and many other people, most reasonable people, I would argue, have nothing to do with that. So lumping us in with the bad actors is not terribly constructive. It's kind of frustrating because in the past year or so, it seems like the fandom menace is forming a circular firing squad, and I hate to see it. You know something, Darth Merlin? I hate to see it too. I've noticed it. As a matter of fact, once again, I've done videos on this. I say about 3 videos over the years talking about how the fandom menace or the fandom, okay, because a lot of these people don't even consider themselves to be fandom menace anymore, if they ever did. But the fandom, yeah, I was warning them for a long time that we started off together, but it seems like everybody was branching out. People were beginning to war against one another, and I hate to see it as well. Now, as far as this treating the anti-woke as some kind of monolith, see, the ironic thing here is normally I get this when I do videos criticizing the black community, because usually what I'll do is I'll make some type of observation and then I'll get pushback by people who will say, it's not all black people. It's not all black people. All black people are not doing bad. Most black people are doing good. And I'm like, okay, all right, listen, remember, I am considered to be black. All right. So obviously I know that we're not all one way. You know what I mean? In much the same way with the fandom, I consider myself to be a pretty vital part of the fandom. You know, I live and breathe this. So of course I know that we're not a monolith. This is the reason why I do the videos that I do, because I know that we have independent thought. When I make videos like this, they serve as a warning about how we are being perceived by outside people, or at the risk of being perceived by outside people. That's the meaning of videos like these. It's not that I'm saying that we're all like that. I'm saying that we're being seen as all like that. I mentioned Rewriting Ripley for a reason, because there are people who write hit pieces against us because they say that we're racist, we're misogynist, we're homophobic, we're all of these things. My thing is, you probably don't want to conduct yourself that way to validate what it is that they're saying against us. So that's the reason why. It's not that I think it. I'm telling you that other people think it. So you might not want to play into that by attacking a young girl who's just trying to have a career who didn't attack any of us. It's bait. It's a trap. I'm trying to say don't do that, okay? So we're not that much in disagreement, Darth Merlin. I'm just trying to make a point where we don't want to end up in a circular firing squad. You know what I mean? But that's what it is, my man. But thank you for sharing that. Wanto Castro 9479 says, the problem is that reason is no longer involved. People are having knee-jerk reactions to anything that looks different. It's a form of overcorrection, which is unfortunate. The solution to my way of thinking is to place objective principles above yourself and try to live up to them. Personal attacks are not only petty, but they come from a desire to hurt, which is self-diminishing as well as insulting. Well put. There's nothing I can add to that, my friend. Absolutely. That's at the heart of this. Moving on. Freeport 48, my man, my friend, he says, I agree with you. Why should we care? I know, even if I had the money, I still wouldn't go to see it. Yeah, you probably wouldn't. None of us would, because it's over in London. Like I said before, this is not a major motion picture release. You cannot go to your local theater and see this. It's in London. So why should you care? Honestly, I mean, you know. Moving on. Nowhere Brain. Nice name. Nowhere Brain. He says, it doesn't matter. You don't race swap most characters. Some characters would be awesome black, say Batman. I would gladly check that out, but it would have to be an alternate universe and storyline. But that would be cool. Put a black Juliet, or but a black Juliet? Nope. Simply put. Back then, there would be no black Juliet. It's also disrespectful to the story. You wouldn't cast a white Kunta Kinte or a black Hitler. These are no-go scenarios. Same for Juliet, a white Kunta Kinte. Okay, I mean, yeah, I guess I can see what you're talking about there. Black Batman would be interesting. God knows in the hood, man, there are plenty of young kids who are going through what young Bruce Wayne went through, but they're not like billionaires or anything, so I can't see them having the resources to become Batman. But definitely a vigilante-like character is born out here in the streets, unfortunately, every day, with these kids losing their families. All right, moving on. Profess84 says, I am jamming with you on the song. Well said. Stage plays are fine. My issue with Hollywood is that this new era of excluding black men from a romantic lead in mainstream franchises, streaming, and network TV. I don't think she's ugly. It's trolling from the insecure fan base that wants her to be white because, like you said, it's Tom Holland. Yeah, I mean, you can't ignore the Tom Holland factor here, which is pretty funny to me because I see all of these dudes who are pretty much saying she's not good enough for Tom Holland. Like, since when do we as men look at another man and say, you know what? I bet he gets like the hottest chicks, or he should get, because we all do that, but he should get the hottest chicks. You know what I mean? For him to be with her, hell no. I mean, you can make that observation, sure, but you know, you don't get outraged about it. I mean, if he's playing like underneath his league, then that's on him. You know what I mean? But anyway, moving on. This Spellbreaker, Damajanai, my man, my brother, Dark Council, stand up! Executing flawless takedowns yet again. This reminds me of the rules we had growing up in Brooklyn when it came to your crew. We never went for civilians. We never went for civilians. Damajanai, were you a stick-up kid? Were you a stick-up kid? Stick-up kids is out to tax. All right, brother, you think you know a guy. Look, we get it. The message is running rampant in the mainstream, but we have to be strategic with our criticisms. Otherwise, we are no different from what our detractors do and say about us. Hashtag Dark Council. Yeah, much love, Damajanai. And I'm just kidding. Damajanai was not a stick-up kid. He is a scientist. He is a pimp. And he's right on this. As usual, the target hitter, I call him. All right, Hedge Hobbit says, I am disappointed to hear Mark say this, as the attack on femininity and feminine beauty is just another aspect of the attack on masculinity and fatherhood, something I know that Mark cares about. So casting an unattractive woman to be Juliet is no different than making Jonathan Majors do a photo shoot in a pink boa. All that the entertainment mainstream wants is attractive women and weak, ineffectual men. They worship the genderqueer middle. The entire ideology is based on the idea that there's no difference between men and women. And you're right, but you know what the key word that you said here is? The entertainment mainstream. This is not the entertainment mainstream. This is some minuscule stage play in London that nobody would know about if Spider-Man wasn't starring in it. This guy, he's done plenty of plays. All right, the black girl who's involved here, Francesca Amawuda Rivers, she's been in plenty of plays that nobody has ever talked about. She has been cast in many roles, in her young life. It's not the mainstream. That's the point. It's not the mainstream, and she didn't do anything to anybody. Somebody leaked this online, and people started attacking her after that. Okay, so that's the difference here. If it were a big budget Hollywood production, then I would be in agreement with you, because you're right. I do care. I do care about the attack on femininity, but that has nothing to do with this small stage play in this young girl who's just trying to make a living out her dream. All right, Hedge Hobbit. Now, I do agree with what you're saying here, but just the application of it is something that I really, really wish people would stop to think about. Does she deserve to be attacked for being in some little stage play over in London somewhere? I think most of us would agree when we stop to think about it that the answer is no. David Quintana, 2918 says, when politicians use it, and I'm not naming names, but it usually is in Congress a lot recently, it turns me off. I don't pretend to understand the full meaning of woke, but I do see sometimes laughable attempts to define it and failing miserably. Is it intentional? Probably. Get the people to draw their own line in the sand and reap the benefits of it. Never mind any legitimate complaints the people have. Yes, this is the game that they play, and they've been playing this for a long time, dude. Jonathan Dawson 3091 says, I won't spoil it for others, but what came after, if it's something strange, who you gonna call, really made me laugh. Unexpected and funny. I mean, I love that I make you laugh, man. I really do. I mean, it's part of my job here, not just to inform, but to entertain. So thank you. Jonathan Dawson again, 3091. I paused to think after watching this video. Opening line. I am in love with that opening line. I love it. I love to hear that. I paused to think after watching this video. A lot of people just go on the title and then just go on and out themselves as some ignorant mofos, but not you, Jonathan. Thank you. I paused to think after watching this video, and I agree with you. As always, sir, you are seeing this from a very rational point of view. I think what has happened is that the woke pendulum has swung too far, and now is swinging back. This is happening in average. Despite woke starting to swing back, the average is still very, very woke. However, in the real world, there are many pendulums and not just one. We are seeing some of these pendulums swinging back too far. I think it's shameful. We have to be careful and keep it in check so that we don't overcorrect the woke nonsense. Thank you for saying what you said. As always, you show the light, and I think what you said needed to be said. Jonathan, thank you very much. Moving on. What is this? Nigelm 5539. Yep. Stage plays operate under different rules, and it's very normal for actors of different skin tones to play all types of characters, as it should. Otherwise, opportunities would be extremely limited. This poor woman is getting dragged so bad that I'm even taken aback, and I thought I had hardened internet skin from all those years on it, but apparently not. Laughing out loud. As for bigger channels, hard agree. For myself, one example, I stopped watching I stopped watching a stream 2 years ago, and I could see it coming from a mile away that the large audience becomes the Pied Piper, and you're just dancing to their beat. Dude, that is so fucking true, man. I hate to see it, man, and I would hate if that happened to me. I think that one of the reasons why I do get the audience, such as it is, that I get, is because people do respect that I'm speaking my point of view. You know what I mean? It's not that at this point you expect me to dance to your music, because I just can't do that, which is the reason why I remain a relatively small channel, and I'm comfortable with that. I'd rather do that than be some huge channel where every day I have to go out and act a fool, like I see some people doing. You can get over 1 million views banging your head on the wall. I've seen people do this. You can get over 1 million views picking your nose. You can get over 1 million views provoking people to knock your ass out on the sidewalk. I've seen these things. I can't compete with that, and I'm cool with that. Moving on. Michael Brashears 8293 says, why does it feel like the human race is going backwards in development, not forwards now? Thanks for another great video. You're welcome, my friend. Yeah, the human race is going backwards because those of us who know better are not speaking up. And I've been talking about this for years on my videos. I was saying the reasons why I do this is not because I like to hear my own voice, because I hate that. I'm just doing it because I kind of feel like I know better, you know what I mean? And I do want to speak some type of common sense into the world because my son depends on me to do it. But there's a lot of people who don't want that heat. They can't take people coming back at them and being rude to them and saying mean things to them. So they want to be under the radar. And I respect that, man. We just want a peaceful life. But that's the reason why this is happening, because people who know better are afraid to speak up. Things will change when people who know better actually say, listen, this shit is crazy. We got to put the brakes on this, you know? Moving on. Ken Coakley, 8366 says, I heard at the end of the play, Juliet rips out Romeo's spine and keeps it as a hunting trophy. At the end of the play, Juliet rips out Romeo's spine and keeps it as a hunting trophy. I'd buy that for $1. I like this. Listen, I would pay to see that play. I don't mind an Asian character in The Last Jedi. I was just bothered by Kelly Marie Tran because she frightens me. I happen to be transphobic. Okay, Ken. Ken got jokes. I like it. Let's see. Sheriff Bracket 7281 says, I never heard of the play that you're talking about until I watched this video, and I still don't really care enough to be bothered because it's nothing new. Going after people on Twitter for any reason is not something I think is worthwhile or beneficial to anyone. X is just an internet bitch fest. Yes, it is. While this lady's casting doesn't surprise me, I'm not ignorant as to why she's in the role. Such casting is done because of the color of her skin, not in spite of it, and that's what woke is. Now, of course, I did a video a long time ago called Dinner for Schmucks, where I was talking about a lot of these black actors that get themselves roped into these roles just because the company or the production company or whatever is trying to use them as gimmicks. You know, they bring them in and they give them these lines to read. They're not doing anything that's going to enrich their careers or anything. And then behind their backs, they laugh at them. You know, Dinner for Schmucks. If you've ever seen that movie, that's the metaphor. Barryon 8706 says, Amen to your gospel. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and beauty standards do change over time. And we don't have to be rude. There you go. Nothing more need to be said. AJ Journeyman 4616 says your Wokebusters theme would go quite well with Jeff Hicks's Wokebusters comic. Yeah, you know, you never know. Maybe we can put something together there. We got the queen in the house, Lorena Creole. Lorena, what's up, babe? Lorena says, excellent video. It is so disgusting and disappointing how so many people have drank the woke Kool-Aid they see in every damn thing. They've become be clowned by the very thing they say they are against and provide yet more ammo to our detectors who can point and say, see, we knew they were bigots. Miss me with that whining from these ignorant anti-wokies. Yeah, Raina, I mean, I can't even add anything to that. And I see you on X all the time trying to get it through to these fools. And they act like they just can't help themselves. They go for the bait every time and they're going to suffer for it. And we all will. Bigger for Entertainment. My man Enzo, what up, bruh? Enzo says, kind of like a little Canadian show called Robin Hood. All right, Enzo. All right. Okay. You want to do this? Let's do this. Okay, Enzo. Tell me, how is this like Robin Hood? Tell me, Enzo, where did the lead in Robin Hood, the young black girl in Robin Hood, where did you see her being harassed because she's ugly? Okay. I don't even know what her name is. Most of us don't. All right. She wasn't. Okay, what happened with Robin Hood is that the Director X, took offense to some of the people online who were not kind to his show with their reviews. He saw some of the racist imagery and he draped the whole fandom in that and used it to try to befriend the content creators, the very ones that he went on to media, social media, and news media to call out. He said they were racist. Then behind the scenes, he said, let's do a live stream together. I want to be friends. And in the meantime, he jumped over the black content creators. Remember that? Remember? It's a completely different situation. His show was full of active stereotypes. The father wasn't there. They were living in the projects. The daughter was promiscuous. They were anti-police for no apparent reason. I mean, listen, it's all been documented. That is not this. But it was a nice try, Anzo. It was a nice little reach, Anzo. Mad love, brother. Thank you. But try harder next time. All right, moving on. And this is getting to be long here. That's what she said. Tiny Metal Tree says, it's hilarious. In the story, everybody thinks they can't be a couple. Now the whole internet is doing it too. It's perfect. You know what? That's right. The actual concept of Romeo and Juliet is playing out here. We have a whole society saying These two lovers shouldn't be together. He shouldn't be with her. Look at her. You know what I mean? It's Romeo and Juliet playing out in front of your very eyes. You know? That's pretty ironic, bro. That's a good observation. It's perfect. This is why they poisoned themselves in Minecraft in the story. Doesn't matter how ugly anybody thinks she is, as long as she and Tom Holland love each other. Romeo, oh Romeo, wherefore art thou, YT Romeo? Has anybody forgotten that miserable Baz Luhrmann thing from the 90s with the stupid 9mm sword pistols, Leonardo DiCaprio? Now we demand authenticity. Suddenly we need to fight over a dumb old play with a million different versions anyway. None of this matters anyway. Shakespeare will definitely get canceled once the left realizes that he also wrote Taming of the Shrew. Man, that is a golden comment, bro. Thank you. Tiny Metal Trees with the mic drop. All right, moving on. I'll take this for a half an hour. It's like 25 minutes, guys. I hope you're still with me. Radka73 says, Mark, you're kind of right. Nobody should make fun of someone's appearance. It is a low kick of immature people. But someone put this girl in front of a firing squad. Someone took original text where Juliet was a 14-year-old girl from Verona, so beautiful that poor guy from a feuding family fell in love after one evening and made a choice to cast this role with a black girl of a specific beauty. That's a nice way of putting it. I hope it was because Francesca is an outstanding actress and she blew away all the criticisms of her performance. By the way, guys, if you look online, you will see that they did get a standing ovation. This thing is getting great reviews over there in London. Okay, so a lot of people are feeling it, man. But if this was only motivated to manifest the director's ideology or, God forbid, increase public interest, well, who's to blame? Lions doing lions things? I guess that would be the fandom tearing it apart, or someone who fed lions with an innocent victim. Okay, that's a fair point. All right. As far as the lions doing lions things, I think we should be above that because, after all, we are human beings. They dangled the meat in front of us on social media, and like I said, if it's a trap, a lion can fall into a trap because a lion is a dumb animal. We are human beings who should be able to sit back and say, "That's bait. That's the trap. I'm going around." You know, it's like I always say, you can see, some people can see a pile of shit on the ground. They can see it, they can smell it, and they can walk around it. There are other people who need to step in it and track it through the house to realize, I think I stepped in some shit. You know what I mean? It depends on your level of intelligence. All right, but thank you for that comment. Absinthe Minded, what's up, bruh? Absinthe Minded says, my only argument would be to see the lineup of who else auditioned and pointed out the obvious. They chose her for her traits other than her talent. I mean, do we know that, though? Like I said, she didn't just come out of nowhere. It's not like my man just went out onto the street and said, hey, you're pretty ugly. We can use you. No, she came from somewhere, and they chose her for her traits other than her talent, narrative agenda, or nepotism, or whatever. The final choice isn't my concern. The process of getting that to that decision is. And, you know, absent-minded, you have a good point, because of course, if you're going to do Romeo and Juliet, there are probably a billion other actresses that are more pleasing to the eye who you could have hired. This one was hired for a specific reason, more than just talent, I believe. It's a vision, you know, so it is interesting. Mad Hatter M6 Years says, I have zero idea what I could possibly say to add or to what you have said here other than to say spot on. Okay, we're going to wrap this up, guys. Leslie Zinn 2627 says, I absolutely love the opening song you did, Mark. I couldn't stop laughing. This is the first I've heard about Tom Holland doing a stage production of Romeo and Juliet, so I had to look it up. The actress playing Juliet, to me, doesn't look ugly. Actually, she looks like a nice girl. I'm sure she is, and that's what makes this so sad. It's so sad to see so many going on the woke witch hunt and trying to nitpick something as small as a stage play simply because the Spider-Man actor is in it. To me, there are bigger fish to fry, and many need to stay on target, as you said. My current target is the Acolyte. Anyway, great video. I have to watch the beginning Wokebusters song again. Edit it to add. Okay. I've watched the first 50 seconds of this video 5 times and it still cracks me up. I'm glad to hear that. I really love to make people laugh and, you know, happy. And absolutely you're right. You know, what you're saying here. It's we have much bigger fish to fry, guys. We have a Hollywood that is saturated with predators and things like that. They're going after our children, and, you know, that's mainstream Hollywood. You know, once again, you're talking about some stage play somewhere. It's hardly worth our time, guys. Ministry of Wrong Think 6962 says marketing so far has been low-key hate baiting. The initial casting photos used a picture of her that looks like a random cast member on the set of Roots accidentally took a picture of themselves in selfie mode. I've seen other pictures of her where she looks normal. They knew what the F they were doing. Mark my words. They want people upset and angry to draw attention. It's fan baiting 101. And of course, I agree with that 100%. That's why I did the video last month saying don't fall for the bait. Teresa, Miss Martin muses. She says, sad to face it, but the culture warriors actually weren't serious about fighting woke. It was all about money. Well, I guess time has proven that, hasn't it? But there are still some of us who are in the game who are sincere, like yourself, and others. And, I'm thankful for that. That's the reason why I'm still here. All right, wrapping this up, we got Mama Bear Doll. What's up, Mads? She says, I've been calling it outrage culture for a while. Yes, you have. You know what you're talking about, too. And it's good to see you here, babe. All right, so let's see. I think we're going to wrap it up. Orange Hat Reviews is checking in. Well said. This has become asinine. Absolutely. All right, we're going to leave it with this one, guys. This is Jonas Leach 8 Yule. All right, I'm sorry. It's also not polite for an entire segment of the population to be painted as instaphobes for more than 5 years, get unpersoned, be threatened and insulted by millionaire celebrities and politicians while the media applauds them. I'm sorry that this young lady is getting caught in the backlash this evil woke nonsense has provoked, but the bad guys started this. Oh, and I don't want to hear we shouldn't sink to their level. I don't want to hear the we should sink to their level bullshit either. Again, they started it. You reap what you sow, and their innocent victims are on their heads, not ours. Okay, there's a lot right that you said there. Absolutely. They did start it. You guys know I've been there from the very beginning, so you're absolutely right about that. This is the reason why I continue doing what I do, because we do need to keep talking against this, because they're trying to rewrite the narrative, and we just simply can't let them. But as far as sinking to their level, I made the personal decisions to be better for myself, because that's the only way that I can win. I can't become who they are. Too many of us are, and that's the reason why the infighting has become what it has become. Now, you could say that it's on their heads that we're eating ourselves as well, because we are. There's too much infighting going on. Too many people have lost the focus of what this is supposed to be. If we hadn't, then I wouldn't be the only person who's made a video saying that it's wrong to go after this young lady. You know what I mean? Like, we've gotten to the point now where we just think that it's just all collateral damage. And that can never be acceptable. It's like we always have to have at least the ability to be able to say what is right and what is wrong. Once we lose that, bro, the lines have blurred to the point where they're non-existent. We no longer have the legs to stand on if we become what they are. So I don't know about you, but I made the decision to try at least not to do that. I respect your sentiment. I respect how you feel for sure. But that's how I feel about that. Now, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. This is over a half an hour. I usually don't do this kind of thing. But, once again, that's what she said. If you made it to the end of this, thank you guys very much. I thank you so much for rocking with me, and the input, the comments. I really love them, as you can see. And as always, guys, you can like, you can share, and you can subscribe. If you want to contribute to the channel, you can do so through the Super Thanks feature on each and one of my videos, and every video that I try to leave a link to the Cash App on. Go on and check that out, guys, because YouTube is not pushing my channel at all, as you can see. So, guys, thank you once again for commenting and chiming in, and I will catch you on the next one. This is The Gospel According to Mark with a C. Rock on.